Well, not the announcement I sort of expected, especially this early, right? We're a few days past the release of Bright Lights, and here we are with heavy hitters. Hey, everyone, I'm Clue, and the next set has been announced. Well, I have my doubts whether or not this is the next set, right? Just hear me out as we go through the article, but there are a lot of things we can sort of pull away from this and some curious thoughts to have. So straight away, heavy hitters is the logo, at least, right, or the titling of the next set. Yep, heavy hitters. Pretty self-explanatory, right? What comes to mind? Guardian, Warrior, Brutes. Well, interesting, considering we're coming off the back of, again, the new one-class model. So we could see class combos, maybe, similar to Outsiders. I mean, we've got the 3 trifecta, so it could work out. But, you know, it could also be something big, something new, and something different. The smell hits you first, blood, sweat, and steel. Feral crowds roar as the trumpeting in your chest. You step into the arena, hot sand billowing at your feet. Drinks poured, wages made, weapons drawn. Gold and glory is yours for the taking, if you survive the deathmatch, right? So this was the little lore spoiler that was in Dusk Till Dawn. Everyone was theorizing that it was going to be a brute set, and, you know, it could still be a just full brute set, because we don't know. And that is another thing that I do just want to touch on, right? Regardless of the information we've got, right, it's still very open-ended if it's going to continue the new model that they are setting, or if we're just going to continue with experimenting. If we're going to go through these cycles, maybe, right, we get a class combo set, we get maybe a normal stylized set, then we get something like Bright Lights where it is class specific. But boy, oh boy, right, arena. Now, PvE comes to mind. It's probably not going to have anything to do with PvE still, which is a bit sad, because I feel like we're gearing up for it to be, you know, the next year, 2024, or 2025, hopefully 2024. But interestingly, right, this is a February release, so we are still a good 4 months away from heavy hitters. I might be wrong, but I think this is the earliest they've announced a new set, right? 4 months? But there is, you know, valid reasons. They want this to be a big event, a massive celebration, right? And this is going to probably be the big anniversary milestone, you know, event for Flesh and Blood for a little bit. So we have Journey to the Birthplace of Flesh and Blood, so New Zealand, right, to enter the ring with the world premiere of Heavy Hitters at the Calling, Queenstown in New Zealand, January 19th to the 21st, 2024. Yeah. Interesting, right? Because if we're going to home territory rather than, you know, somewhere where the market share is greatest, I feel like this is going to be a big celebration. This is the first chance for players to get their hands on heavy hitters, which hits the shelves February 2nd, right? So the week after, usual sort of gimmick, right? We have the pre-release event for everyone to get their hands on to play, to actually participate, and then it actually hits shelves and you can do what you want with it. But yeah, February release. This is curious to me because, you know, I was really expecting the next set to hit by Christmas, right? Because it just makes sense as a toy company, more or less, to have a product come out, you know, around Christmas. So I'm curious if we will get some sort of small release, or if we're just, you know, waiting till February for something. But it does feel like they want to announce this because of a few things. For one, again, it's meant to be this big celebration, and, you know, flights haven't really returned to what they were. Booking stuff is still somewhat of a hassle. You know, budgeting, saving, all that is still somewhat of a hassle. So to do it this early is to really try and incentivize and smooth things over and give people enough time to try and get to New Zealand. Because again, from the way this is worded, it's going to be big, right? So if the Colosseum's carnage was enough, we're raising a mug to salute the entire Flesh and Blood community with a once-in-a-lifetime celebrational. Featuring your favorite Fab faces from all over the globe, we call upon you all to join us in New Zealand, in the Flesh and Blood, for the glorious, great games and smashing good times. Right, so there is more to be announced at the World Championship in Barcelona. I forget where I read it, because I have, you know, perused. There we are. So they will announce the guest list, right? So that's the curiosity. Obviously, you know, a lot of heavy-hitting players, but then I would assume a lot of people from the YouTube space, right, will probably be invited to this, and it is going to be almost just a con for Flesh and Blood, right? Because I assume there's going to be a lot more going on than just the games. And yeah, I think home territory, they can make this massive, right? They've got top 10 things to do in Queenstown, right? Event detailings. We'll look on that as well, because I'm curious about it, and key art. I'm pretty sure this is just going to be the Colosseum, correct? Yes, but what can we sort of peruse from the Colosseum? Crowds, giant people in the background, that's interesting, right? And then normal warriors, but nothing too detailed, no. So it's your usual sort of Colosseum. So again, we're thinking, you know, Brute, Guardian, Warrior. Curious, curious, curious. All right, so in terms of the actual events, right? So throw yourselves into the ring head first on Friday with the world premiere of Heavy Hitters. Tearing through packs of the new set, players will build their decks and witness firsthand how vicious the arena can be. The real deathmatch begins on Saturday with the calling as players throw hands in a Savage Heavy Hitters sealed deck showdown. The week will be crushed as veterans fight tooth and nail in day 2 with Heavy Hitters booster draft. But only one will rise above the rest and be crowned champion, seizing the victor's share of $20,000, right? It's great to see the amount of money being put up by LSS. It is great to see for anyone who is, you know, a proper competitive player, right? This is something you can do. You know, that's pretty much every person's dream in this space, right? To be able to play the game financially, right? Bloodshed doesn't stop there as players bond over their battle scars on Sunday with a Heavy Hitters team sealed battle hardened. Learn from harsh lessons, build up from bare bones, and claim your cut of $3,000. And watch as the crowd goes wild. Now I'm curious, right? Because I assume everything's in USD, because that's generally the normal norm. But, okay, so the event. 19th to the 21st, right? So, again, still 3 months away. Right? November, December, January, right? And we're midway through October. Yeah, so over 3 months away. In Queenstown, New Zealand. And registration hosted Friday. Full schedule of public events, Super Armory and Heavy Hitters World Premiere. Then the calling day 1, full schedule of public events. And then calling day 2, plus then the open entry booster draft and teams. Right, so it's going to be fun. But the big thing that this screams is, well, it has to be draftable. And again, the new model for draftable is a one-set dynamic. Although Outsiders is draftable. Is it the greatest draft experience, right? Is it going to really go over smoothly if they stick Brute, Warrior, and Guardian into a box? Questionable, right? I think maybe one class dynamic, or we go with no class dynamic, right? And this is just a big generic powerhouse, right? And well, obviously you need to draft something, but you know, have a lot of the heroes that don't have any core mechanics that need certain cards. So although with Warrior, right, you want Dawnblade, we could get new versions of everyone, right, that are Gladiator versions that have, you know, somewhat basic effects, and then you have a giant amount of generics. You can still have some of the class cards as a little power boost, right, but then it makes the sealed events a little bit easier, because it will be curious, right, playing sealed, if it does go back to 3 classes, even 4 classes. But I think the go everyone is thinking is Warrior and Brute at the very least. Again, I throw Guardian there because when I think of Heavy Hitters, Guardian is sort of at the top. What else do we have? Same sort of little bits. Casual level of rules, it's fine. Open entry registration. Player cap 512, awesome, right? Go big, go home. Pre-release promo and playmat, interesting. And then Queenstown, the calling. So it's Swiss round like usual, right? Oh, number of players. Curious that they have this. 917. No, sorry, 512 is the sealed deck cap. And then, no, still 512. Interesting. And then prizes, so $20,000 for the total. Top takes 5,000 USD, which is great. And you get a Crown of Providence. Awesome. Right, so it's great reward for a calling, right? I need to sort of look at the other calling events, but it's got to be the biggest one, right? Because we are still just ramping up, which is great, right? And then team events, top is still 1,500. That would have to cover your airfares, right? At the very least. I don't know. I know flying out of Australia right now is awful because of everything going on with our one track airlines at the time because of COVID shutdown and not really giving airspace to other international companies. Anyway, that aside, right? Looks great. What do you think's going on? Do you think this is just a early announcement because of the event, or do you think this is the next set? Because we don't have anything. This is, you know, the X number set, right? We just have the world premiere of Heavy Hitters, right? There's no use of the next set, right? I'm pretty sure. We'll just double check. Type in next. No. So yeah, I think they could get away with this. This is obviously a needed announcement for anyone who wants to book and go to these events. But I would still assume that we would see some product. Again, it doesn't have to be a full-fledged set, a supplemental set even, but that we would see something for a Christmas release, right? Because again, it's the normal priority of the toy company. But yeah, what do you think is on the cards, right? Warrior, Guardian, Brute, they could go a different way, right? Strip down mages and rune blades, and there is ways to spend for everyone. It's a Colosseum. I mean, the other thing we could probably do is we can look at lore. There we are. World of Wraith. Pretty sure there's a map somewhere. No, but we assume it's in the Savage Lands, correct? So it's probably not. If I had to guess, given the architecture and everything, it's sort of like Solana. It's definitely not Mysteria, right? It's definitely not Aria. Sort of similar. Definitely not Volca. So right now I'm thinking Savage Lands or Solana. But at the same time, it could be somewhere new. It could just be in the middle, and everyone, one come all, which sort of, represents what they're doing with the actual event. Let me see if I can find the map, because I know it's somewhere. Right, so here's the map. Savage Lands, too jungly, I think, to get the Colosseum. It's very barren in the opens, right? So I definitely don't think it's hilly, Mysteria. Don't think it's, lush and vibrant with all the lights, Aurora Borealis and all that. With Aria, definitely not Volkner, definitely not the Demonastery. Like, it feels like Solana, right? So I feel like it's just going to be bang smack in the middle. Similar like the above ground popular version of the pits, right? So you have the underground fight club, and then you have this arena, wherever it is, as the major one. I mean, it could still be in Metrics, in all honesty, but I feel like it's just somewhere mid-ground from the art style, the architecture, right? It could be in the Savage Lands. But yeah, the big people are definitely a curiosity to me, right? Because, this could have been a great PvE set. You could still build into PvE. But obviously the events that are listed, it is not going to be PvE. Anyway, we'll probably leave it there. It's great to see, right? Why don't we read this little segment, right? Because I sort of skipped past it. Every single one of you brings something different to the table to show how proud we are of our community and to acknowledge Flesh and Blood entering its 5th year. We're hosting a special celebration. We've put together a truly exceptional guest list of esteemed Fab celebrities and local community superstars who will join us in Queenstown in honor of the countless ways people contribute to bring amazing energy to the international Flesh and Blood family. Anyway, there you go. Heavy hitters. What do you think's going on? Right? Do you think this is the next set? Or do you think this was just a much needed announcement for logistical reasons? Hope you enjoyed.